Hello everyone! I thought I would show you a quick, easy way to put some coffee cup stains or some wine glass stains on your pages. This is really easy to do. I'm using Distress Inks, the dye ink pads to do this because they're water-based and it works. I am using real glasses and real cups, but my rule is this stuff is not meant to be eaten. It's toxic. I mean, this is not good for you. So if something comes out of the kitchen, it doesn't go back into the kitchen once it's touched inks or paints or anything. So these are going to be play cups and stuff. You know, there weren't anything that I used anyway, but just so you know, I am not putting the stuff back into my kitchen just because of that. But anyway, so I'm using the real thing to do this with, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm using junk mail because I'm just experimenting and just playing, and I don't want to waste anything trying this all out. So I'm turning my glass upside down, and I do like to pat quite a bit of color, and I'm using cranberry because it's kind of a wine color, kind of. It's the closest one I've got. I bet red would work too. I should try red. I think I've got some red. But I am patting on as much color as I can for a big splatter. So that's that. And then I use my handy dandy mister bottle, and I use that quite a bit. So I am misting it up a lot so that it is moving, it's dripping, and I do like to put a couple drips on the paper and then stamp with it, I guess is what you would call it. And then you've got your wine glass stamp, except I would like some drips on the outside as well, so I'm just going to shake off the rest of that. And voila, there is my wine spill. You can do this on printed paper or book page or whatever. I'm just going to turn it around and show you. I've got two cups out here. This one I used to use, but it's got a little, like, not a chip, but it's scraped, so it's not really comfortable to drink with. So it is no longer a drinking cup. I'm going to use espresso. I'm going to use this little one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pat on a lot of color. I like it very dark, especially for espresso. So I'm going to pat on a lot. And then I'm going to spritz it so that it's moving and it's drippy and it's all wet. Drip it a little bit as I am putting it down. That's a little too neat and tidy for me. Let's try it again. So instead of buying a stamp that stamps exactly the same way each time, I do like doing it this way because every single time you do it, it turns out differently. It's never the same twice. So I'm going to use the big cup, and I'm going to use tea dye for a tea stain. And pat, pat, pat. Making a lot of noise. Spritz, spritz, spritz. And tea does not make as a big a mark. It's not making any mark. Let's see what I got here. I got a very light stain. I didn't get enough ink on it. But still, it looks kind of like a tea stain would probably. So that is that. And I am going to, while I'm doing this, it's better to let it dry naturally. If you notice, the wine kind of, when it splats, it gives you that splat look, which I really like. Maybe a couple more splats would be good, since we're doing it. So I'm just going to ink up the edge here with a bunch of ink. I was going to try red, wasn't I? And get it to drip. It needs to be pretty dense, a lot of ink on there, so it doesn't look so watery, because that doesn't look quite right. But you get the idea. I like more drips. And I like the way the drips, they kind of splatter when they hit the paper. So, I am going to use some junk mail, because I like the writing. I like it. And I'm going to use red. So let's see what the red looks like. And get quite a bit of color on there. Make it as dark as possible. A little bit more. A little bit more. It doesn't look like it's as dark as the cranberry. We'll see though. Alright, so I'm misting it. Yeah, it's not quite as dark. I need a red. I don't think I have a red. But it still turned out pretty cool. So I will let these dry. I won't move them or anything so that they look authentic. And you can do this inside your art books or whatever, or just paste in something. It looks more authentic if you actually do it in the book. So that is the way that I get a coffee cup stain in my books. Thanks for watching.